The next thing we'll move on to, Dave, is you actually brought this up. And based on the game that happened yesterday, there's now some more chatter about it because you've brought up for the longest time is Andrew Wiggins proving how bad the Timberwolves are at like players. And you've said in the Discord that you can't wait until Cat's no longer on the T-Wolves because he's just going to be one of the best players in the NBA and basically be Wilt Chamberlain. I think you compared him to.
I'm just saying, if we're extrapolating the information we have from people who leave the Timberwolves and get better, it makes sense that Cat goes from being one of the best offensive centers we've ever seen to Wilt Chamberlain levels of scoring. It is in the same line. So
the reason why I bring this up today is the T-Wolves and the Warriors played last night. Andrew Wiggins had himself a game. The Warriors also beat the Wolves. Yet again, no Cat, no D'Lo. Throw that out there also. But Wiggins right now is... So last night... get the hell out of here.
I love soft center in the NBA.
So he's averaging 18. I think he had 25 last night. My ESPN bugged out on me. He had 23 points. 23, 6 rebounds, 3 blocks, 3 steals, went 52% from the field against Minnesota. He's averaging, just under 18 points a game this year for the Warriors. And he's even talked about how he loves the fit with the Warriors. Like his fit on the Warriors is so much better than what it was with the Wolves. I'm just going to ask you, Dave, how bad are the Timberwolves? Like, is Andrew Wiggins' success with the Warriors proving how bad of an organization the T-Wolves are?
I 100% think so. I think this is for everyone, it's for everyone on display at this point. All it is you take a player who is known for underwhelming, underperforming, and not being able to, take the next step and be a leader on his team. Andrew Wiggins isn't a leader. He's just a player. I think that's the same thing. Like, obviously they're in different categories, but Kevin Durant, he's not a leader by any means. He's just one of the most gifted players we've ever seen. And Wiggins is someone who is athletically gifted on another tier than, 90% of the NBA still. So I think that what he's been able to accomplish in a very short time period with Golden State, the end of last year, the start of this year, he's looked fantastic. And again, that's pretty much just being around Steve Kerr, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, being around guys who are building blocks to greatness, basically, for him. So his defense has been a massive step up. Draymond Green, clearly, we see him getting teched out of games for giving advice to James Wiseman on plays on the court. Can you imagine what
giving advice, swearing at him?
That is helpful. Yeah. That's sort of what it is. It's the idea that when you are around guys who give 110% effort, you feel obligated to give that same level of effort. You match energies with them. Yeah. And he's obviously been helping out Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins has had multiple games with 4+ blocks this year. I think he's the number 2 wing with blocks behind Anthony Davis. It's just insanity. He is so fucking talented. And when he turns it on, it's great. And again, people who want to point his scoring numbers being down, well, his efficiency is also at an all-time high. And he's not necessary to score because that offense is predicated on ball movement. For as many bad shots as Kelly Oubre will take, Steve Kerr demands the ball be moved. It's not his choice, It's just that's the way the offense plays. That's the way things roll. So obviously, in ideal situations, yes, Wiggins would be scoring more. But I think he has the absolute opportunity to average over 20 a night by the end of this year, depending on how they decide to roll that offense out,
He, just to throw it out there, he is 9th in average blocks this year at 1.6.
Right.
And in the top 10, he's the only player in the top 10 that is not a 4 or a 5.
Yeah, that's what I said. Okay, so he's the number 1 wing.
Yeah.
I count Anthony Davis as a wing, but maybe
they're counting him as a power forward.
He's a big.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's the number 1 wing with blocks in the NBA. Fucking, that tells you right there. That's an effort thing. Steals, he's been putting in the effort. He's a good man-to-man guarder. He went
in the 2 games against the Clippers, if you watch the Kawhi Wiggins matchup, I think Kawhi had literally 2 shots made in those 2 games. Like he only, while being guarded by Wiggins.
Yeah.
Just asterisk that, whatever. I can't make an asterisk with my hands.
Hashtag.
Well being guarded by Andrew Wiggins. Yeah, I'm so used to dropping the hashtags. While being guarded by Andrew Wiggins, Kawhi Leonard struggled.
Yeah.
Again, this kid is gifted athletically. He's long. He is strong. And now he's playing with motivation. It's awesome to see. And this really, I want to make this a success story, but let's get back to the shit talk.
No, I mean, and Mad Rogue brings up a good point that you and I haven't even thought of.
Oh, I did.
Look at fucking Thibodeau. Thibodeau, his time in Minnesota, it's like, oh my God. Well, we never looked at it as it being Thibodeau's fault. It was just like, man, Coach Tibbs can't get those boys playing. And then he goes to New York, Dave, the mecca of, oh my God, we're going to make fun of this team and meme this team and their failures to death. Yeah. And he has them as one of the, I think they're the best defensive team right now, if not one of the best.
They're the number 1 defensive rated in the NBA as a team. And they're doing it on a team with a lot of people would say less talent than the Timberwolves.
It's like, holy shit.
People would agree.
A team with motivation. You you get a team and you get them motivated. Fucking, you could do anything with them. And like the Knicks have been exceeding expectations this year. I mean, even look at Ricky Rubio. We've mentioned that before. Was doing great things in Phoenix. It's like, wow, Rubio's doing great. Utah even
was instant success. Like
then he comes back.
Shoot threes. They literally Timberwolves traded Ricky Rubio because he hurt their offense by not spacing the floor. He goes to Utah. What does he do? He learns to shoot threes.
Yeah,
and then he's playing phenomenally. And then he goes to the fucking Suns and he plays incredibly well. And then, like you said, they dragged him home, and it's just shit. And he looks depressed out there. I feel for the guy.
Yeah,
it's like he's basically being buried out there. It's just the motivation on the team. They got Tom Thibodeau and Jimmy Butler and couldn't get these kids to give a fuck. I think that's more about the whole team than it does about one guy. I think it's easier to fall in line when you're just the majority over there. So yes, Jimmy Butler couldn't get these guys to give a shit, and the fact that he went on to do that for another team and then another team after that, like it speaks volumes about what that team is and what's tolerated in that locker room. Yeah. If Cat runs the locker room and he doesn't want to give a fuck, then no one else has to give a fuck.
Well, that's also like, the thing that I'm surprised with, and yet again, it's only been a few games, is the fact that like Naz Reid's been playing well to where it's like, I'm almost sitting here going like, is Naz Reid going to be the only like asterisk to where it's like everyone else on that team loses motivation. It's kind of like just falls into what what's the word I'm thinking of? Just the mood of the team.
The status quo.
The status quo. Thank you. Where Naz Reid in his last 14, 13, 20, 11. He had 10 rebounds last night against Golden State. 5 of 16 from the field. I know not as good as his previous 4 where he was shooting 50, 80, 85 against fucking Clint Capella and the Hawks. Went fucking 6 of 5 from the field there. Like, is he going to be the only one that is
big shoot though? Like, to be fair, nothing against him. Good point. But like their team makeup is get Cat the ball, so when Cat's not there, Cat's fill-in is going to get the majority of the preset plays.
Good point. Maybe that's why it's just a system thing. But like
the system, but also I don't want to take any credit from Sean's boy Naz Reid. I think he is a very talented scorer.
Yeah.
But if we're getting call outs here. I mean, there's a certain long boy by the name of McDaniels out there who has shown flashes. He has shown flashes.
And that's why, yet again, I'm not going to harp on it too much, but I am going to say it puzzled me why the Timberwolves, who have motivation problems already, took a player at number 1 who has fucking motivational problems, Dave.
Oh my, Ricky, you preach now.
Like, it's just one of those things where the Timberwolves are, I'm sorry, T-Wolves fans, you're a bad organization. You're a bad, and that's coming from the Bulls, where the Bulls are a bad organization. Well, better. We've got AKME. It got better.
But it hasn't got better. We're getting better.
Well, it's not the organization that I worry about now. It's the actual players that I worry about now. But like, if I was a T-Wolves fan, I would just sit here and go, it's just never getting better. Like, I would just be depressed all the time. It's never getting better. Because like Wiggins, I would almost, as a Minnesota fan, root against Wiggins because it just proves like, hey, players leave you, they get better. A coach leaves you, they get better. Minnesota, and that's the thing. I don't know what the fix is.
I mean, look how good Rocco got as soon as he went down to Houston.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
he suddenly became the best fucking defensive player in the universe.
Yeah,
he was playing the 1 through 5 on defense. He was averaging 4 blocks and 2 steals a game for the end of the. It was insanity. And I know he's a Sixers, product of the process, but he went through your team. He didn't live up to your expectations. Obviously, you were flipping the roster over. I understand, but like, can we just literally everything out there?
Yeah,
it just points back to this being a problem on the team, and I wonder. And he is bad now on the point whatever that's Portland's issue now. Portland kills their wings. That's not my fault.
Dave's like, not my problem.
Portland kills wings. But I wonder, how do you fix this as the Timberwolves? Like, a team with bad motivation. Obviously, the coach is a problem, but the coach clearly isn't the only guy because they've replaced coaches now. Yeah. So, I mean, are we going to finally point the finger at Cat and tell him to put his big boy pants on and give a shit on defense? Or like D'Lo do the same? Like Beasley do anything other than score the ball? Anthony Edwards learn to fucking like read the book on basketball. Like, go put him in front of like one of those 80s fucking projectors in a classroom and have him watch classic fucking how-to basketball videos.
Yeah.
Like, it's embarrassing how bad that offense performs, how little they give a shit on defense out there. I'm angry just talking about them, and I've only had to watch 4 of their games this year.
Yeah, and I mean, just doing a little bit of research. First off, GM Scott Layden, if I'm saying that right, he's been there since 2016. He's been the general manager of the Timberwolves. So he served as an advisory role. And then on the 9th of 2020, oh, no, never mind. Google lied to me then. He's gone. He was gone on December 9th of this year. Then, because when you still Google their GM, it says Scott Layden. But basically, coaches, Ryan Saunders has been there since 2019. I want to partly lean towards the Cat thing that you were mentioning because I've brought this up before on Old Fast Breaks of after reading John Calipari's book, it's evident to me that Cat never seemed like a leader, where Cat was always a player where everything Calipari mentioned of him in the book was that, yes, he's got his own certain ways to try to motivate himself, but you got to also, little Carlito on his shoulder. But like, you got to have someone to motivate Cat. That's what you need. Tom Thibodeau was a motivator. They're bringing someone in.
Doesn't get you motivated. I don't know what will. I mean, Tom Thibodeau did it. Jimmy Butler did it, and beat by third stringers. Ricky says it all.
I will say this: different people need different ways of motivation. Maybe the way Jimmy and Tom motivate isn't what works for Cat. But something's got to fucking work. But yet again, you can't be coddled out there. Like, that's the thing where maybe it is a John Calipari-like coach that Cat needs. However, there's not one, it's like where you just go to the coach factory and say, hey, here's my blueprints for a Calipari coach. Give me one of these, but with NBA experience. Like, it don't work like that.
I understand, like, Cat's having like an absolutely fucking horrible year. Like, no argument with that. I understand his last 12 months have been like
god awful,
extremely tough.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not trying to pick on the guy for anything going on in his personal life. Again, I just want to clarify that this is the fucking team, and he's the leader of the team as basically the OG of the roster at this point because they flipped over so much talent on that team.
Unless, would you say that D'Lo should be the leader of this team? Or it should be D'Lo is the leader and Cat is the secondary.
Cat's the guy who's been there longest.
Okay.
That is the answer. Is you're the best player who's been there longest. And like, I think a lot of, I don't know. D'Lo's a good guy. Again, I don't know if he's a leader. I think that's the problem. His team has no one who's a leader. And even if you did, like, say you were like Ricky Rubio's a great leader. They don't respect Ricky Rubio because he's not on the same level of a player. Like if it was a Chris Paul, where the Thunder got Chris Paul last year, and the whole team looked up to him, and he set the tone, he set the pace. And I don't think he's anywhere near as hostile as Jimmy Butler is with some of the stuff he does. And I think that vibed well, and they all bought in. Now, I'm sure Scotty Brooks was part of that. I think that not Scotty Brooks. Why I say Scotty Brooks? Who's our head coach, Ricky?
Of the Suns? Why am I blanking on his
who is
name?
our head coach right now?
Oh, Billy Donovan.
Billy Donovan. I'm sure Billy Donovan helped buy in with Chris Paul, but I don't know that they have anyone there on the fucking Timberwolves to do that. So that's the problem. You need a veteran who is respected, who can be the voice and the leadership in this team, in this locker room. And let's be honest, Ed Davis, nah.
No.
Jake Layman, no, not old enough. Ricky Rubio really is the only veteran on this team outside of Karl-Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell. So, and Russell is still super young. So, you know, like that's the problem. They literally have no veteran leadership.
Yeah.
And apparently Rubio, who has known for his work ethic in his past, can't get through to him.
Yeah.
Or no longer gives a fuck about it at this point. I don't blame him.
Yeah. And it's like the T-Wolves is just one of those things where it's like, how do you fix it? That could be one of them, getting a leader. But yet again, at this point, I think the only way they're getting a leader is if they draft somebody, and basically it's just like that kid turns into the leader of the team.
Yeah, however, you try to develop leadership, but we've been in the suck.
You gotta have it. Yeah, you gotta just have it. Like that's just it.
What about if they go after someone? And I know right now the Spurs are a pretty good team, but like someone like a DeMar DeRozan,
that would help.
Like that would be huge for them. And I know that like you're like, why would you want to go after DeMar DeRozan on this team? And I'm like, DeMar's a fucking leader.
Yeah,
that guy is so good on the court, off the court. He's an excellent human being. He's got great work ethic. I know he's perfect down in San Antonio right now, doing what they're doing, but. Like if I'm the Timberwolves, that's the kind of caliber player I'm looking for. Someone who is older, established, you know, like Kyle Lowry. I know I just went with the fucking trash bros, but like you get the point. Is like both of those guys, older players, established players. They've been stars. They know exactly what it takes, and they can set the tone for the rest of the roster in that locker room. And that's really what this team should be looking for to add, because right now they're a ship without a rudder.
Yeah, and it's just going to be. It's sad because I want the T-Wolves to be good. But because the last time they were kind of good was like Jimmy willed them to the playoffs, but like the KG days before he was even traded to Boston, and it was just like,
Ricky, because you got the 20 and 20 Fat K Love days.
Oh, that's right. You got the Fat K.
They weren't a good team.
Maybe they bring back K Love. Work out a deal with the Cavs. Bring K Love back, Dave.
You know what?
Maybe he could be the leader for this team.
After what I saw last year, I think he's going to limit. It's like
he doesn't want to lose that much.
Leader, but at some point, when my coach is a fucking idiot, I just don't care anymore, and I will let you know.
See, like you know who? Although I don't want this to happen because he's already been there. That's why I liked when Derrick Rose was there, because I felt like that team at least had somebody that they could lean on in that role. But Derrick Rose, I want him to go to a playoff contender now. I want Derrick Rose to get a ring at this point. Just fucking ring chase. Get Derrick Rose a ring.